Friends, we're in Joshua Tree. You can see evidence by these little trees back there. So I just wanted to take the time. Because I feel like it's important. I feel like, when I was first going on my nursing journey, I didn't know exactly, what the outcome would be. And I would say, looking back at the outcome now, I would say becoming a nurse, a male nurse, was definitely worth it. And that's what this video is going to be about. Just something brief, just to give you guys some motivation if you're a guy out there and you're, contemplating becoming a nurse. Ultimately, what does the outcome of that look like a couple years in? And for me, I graduated, my nursing program back in, 2019 now? Or the end of 2018, fall. And, we're in 2023 now. And here I am in Joshua Tree, little jacuzzi here. Got snow-capped mountains with the good view down into the valley. And, I guess a huge, hillside mountain over here I could mention as well. And, this is just a small picture of what you can get, in terms of a lifestyle. This is an Airbnb, by the way, if you become a male nurse. And the one thing I'll say just from the jump, becoming a nurse is probably one of the best careers that you can get, looking at the time invested, I would say. You only invest about 4 years if you do it, really quickly, or slightly more than that. Like for me, for example, is 5 years. I went to a community college and then I graduated, transferred over to a 4-year and then graduated from there. And, right from the jump, right from entering the workforce, I was already making $100,000. And I guess a big thing to mention is I actually live in California. So, if you didn't know by Joshua Tree, I live in California. So if you're an RN living in California, you're likely going to be making $100,000, right from graduation. And that's only with the 4-year degree. So in that sense, this lifestyle, traveling, making money, investing it, saving it, it will come, with this career path. So in that sense, like when I first started this journey of becoming a male nurse, that's what I was thinking about. A lot of people ask themselves, and I know I asked myself too, I'm like, I don't love the fact of being a nurse, like should I still be a nurse? And the reality to that is, most people don't love their careers, You'll love it at first, but over time a job will always be a job as the next job. A job will always be that for you. It's just a source of income. If you want to look at deeper than that, it's the rat race, right? Some people eventually want to work, for themselves, be their own boss, make their own decisions. But just looking at it as a nursing career, you're going to live a good life. And, for me, I don't love the fact that, I don't love being a nurse. Let me just put it that way. I love the career. I love the lifestyle. I love the money it pays. I love the time invested for it, right? Because I'm 27 right now. I'm going to be 28 later this year. Like I mentioned, I'm about, a little under 4, right about 4 years into the workforce now. And, I've saved quite a bit. I make quite a bit. For me personally, if you're curious, I actually work as a prison RN. So I actually also work for the state, prison system, which is the state of California. So even through that, if you want to be a little bit more methodical, I'm actually even working towards a pension as well. So, I make a good amount on the front end. On the back end, I'm working towards a pension. And I planned it that way on purpose. Some of you guys can work for VA hospitals or, state prisons as well if, that's something you're interested in. If you want to be, catching yourself on the front end and then at the same time catching yourself on the back end. But if you're, contemplating if it's worth it, I 100% think it's worth it, even if you don't love the fact, that you're, you don't love this idea of being a nurse, right? Like I know some of my classmates, some people I went to school with, they love this idea of being a nurse, just as some people want to grow up to be like an astronaut or something, grow up to be a model, grow up to be a teacher. You know, for me, I didn't have any of that desire. If anything, you know, my initial desire was to be like a police officer. And it's funny how coming full circle, you know, I actually worked in the county jail, now I work in a prison system. So it kind of comes full circle. You know, some of my interests are there. I'm not the one wearing the badge is what I say. I'm around the people that do. I would say become a nurse if there's ultimately just an underlying desire to want to help people, because you will hate your life if you truly don't like helping people. But if there's any just part of you that just wants to help, you know, people, and you're interested in a career that's going to give you a lifestyle that you truly would like, right? You're going to make money, you're going to have, you know, good time off. If you work in a hospital, you work three shifts and get 4 days off or whatever. I work 5 days a week. I work 8s, which I actually like. I would say go for it. You know, go become a nurse. Don't fall into the stereotypes that only women can do it. Sure, when you get into your nursing program, you're going to see there's a lot of women in it, and you're probably going to be one of the few men that are actually in it. But it's a very solid career path. There's a lot of benefits to it. And, you know, I go to Airbnbs pretty often. I also save and invest a lot of money. I'm 27, going to be 28 years old. I'm here with my partner who's still sleeping in there. And I'm not married, I don't have kids, but, you know, this is it. Like, you can have this and you can be very, very comfortable. Very comfortable. And it's just a matter of, you know, you're going to make a lot of money, but what do you use, you know, with that money? Do you invest it? Do you save it? Because we can all make money, right? You're going to make money as an RN. Now, once you start making this money, it's, you know, what's the next step? You know, what are your next maneuvers in this life? But I'm hoping this little video is helpful. It's more of a ramble, just kind of, you know, free speech type video, but, you know, maybe I'll make some more of these in more of a series if there's interest. But if you're, you know, wondering, I definitely don't regret becoming a male nurse. Solid choice, and I'm living that life. You can follow my path of, you know, living a life as an RN, you know, and by that I mean likely not talking about RN stuff, but the lifestyle that it brings. And solid. See you guys on the next one.